Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up Windows Subsystem for Linux version 1 and version 2. Version 1 uses a translation layer between Linux and Windows, and version 2 uses a Hyper-V feature with an actual real Linux kernel. I mainly just use it to SSH into stuff instead of using PuTTY to connect to my cloud servers, but there are many things you can do with both versions, especially for developers. So let's get started. First thing you need is Windows 10 Home Edition, and you just need to be running Windows version 1903 or higher. And if you're unsure of the version, all you got to do is press the Windows key plus R, or just right click and go to Run, and you're going to type in winver. Press OK. This little screen pops up, and so my version's way above. Just make sure it's above 1903, and then for the build you have to be above 18362. And if you're not there, just go run some updates. It won't take long to catch up. So on this page, this is the main documentation that I found online. It just shows the differences between the two. The main one is version 2 is a actual managed VM, and it has a full kernel. And just to kind of summarize that again, so version 1 is more of a Linux emulation, and version 2 is really a tiny virtual machine. And version 1 basically runs alongside other Windows apps, memory, CPU. It's only used when you run the Linux app. Version 2 basically, like I said, runs a lightweight virtual machine. So there is a small amount of memory CPU assigned to the VM. The memory usage for version 2 grows and shrinks as you use it. You basically can consume up to, I read in the documentation, up to 50% of your total memory, or maximum of up to 8 gigs of RAM. I haven't tested. So you can basically configure it in the WSL config file if you want to specify like a certain amount. So if you are running like 8 gigs of RAM still, and it might really consume up your total resources, so I would stick to version 1. But if you have a normal like 16 or 32 gigs of RAM, you should be fine. So to get started, you need to install the Subsystem for Linux and virtual machine platform. You can do this through the command line, but I'm just going to go through the user interface for this part. So the first thing you want to do is go to, you could go to Run and type in appwiz.cpl, and this just directly opens up the Program and Features page. Alternatively, you can just go to Control Panel, Programs, Uninstall, and then from here you're basically going to go to Turn Windows Features on or off. And then from there, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's going to be a Windows Subsystem for Linux. Just click that. And then you're going to go to Virtual Machine Platform. Click that, and click OK. And once you click OK, it's going to search for the required files and install it. It should be pretty quick. Once it's finished, you just need to restart the computer. So be back in 1 sec. All right, now that we have the our computer's restarted and those features are installed, now we can kind of go into installing the distro. I'm going to do my installation through the Microsoft Store, but you can do it through PowerShell. If you just search PowerShell, open up as admin, get a screen like this, and then there is a list of commands that I'll put in the link, and you can install everything through there. Like I'll run this command now to see all of the available distros. And that'll give me all the distros that are available through Windows Subsystem for Linux. I'm going to do Ubuntu. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to open the store up. Here's the Microsoft Store. I'm going to search. Let's just search Linux. And there they are. Is that all of them? I think it's, oh, there's Debian too. So I'm just going to do 20.04. Let it open up. I'm going to hit install. Give it a sec to install. Once your distro finishes, you can just click launch. You're going to get a screen like this. Yours is going to say installing. I already ran mine. Take a few minutes, and then once you're done, you have your own Linux distro running on Windows. It's pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff you can do. So before I head out, let me open up PowerShell again, and I'm going to show you a couple commands. One sec. So there is a the verbose command, the list verbose, and this will kind of tell you what distros you have installed, because you can install multiple of these, and it tells you which version it's on, if it's running, and then the distro. By default, sometimes when you install this, it defaults everything to version 1. So you'll have to run a command to set the default. So if you run this command and you see version 1, run this next command, and it's going to be WSL set default version 2, and this will set the default. So any other distros you launch from here on out or install, we'll put it on version 2. And if you did get a version 1 here and you want to, you'll have to manually change that to version 2, and the command for that is right here. So it's going to be WSL set version, distribution name, version number. So if I want to change, I'll change mine to 1 so I can show you. So type in Ubuntu-20.04 1. And this is going to change it back to the subsystem version 1. It'll take a few minutes. There it is. It's all finished. Hope you guys can now go in there and learn some Linux, have some fun. One thing I did forget to mention is if you do get a kernel not up to date error when you're trying to switch to version 2 right here, you'll have to go download the MSI update, and I'll put that in the description too. But here's the link right here. You just go there, get the MSI, install it, and then as soon as you're done, you can go back and switch everything to version 2, and you'll have your own little virtual machine. Hope you guys liked the video. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Thanks.